Hey everyone. If you didn't get a chance to join my Facebook Live that I just did with Mike Michalowicz on All In, it's how great teams become unstoppable. It was awesome. I also gave the invitation to email me if you'd like the transcript. If you did do that already, please know I will get with you. It takes a little while for that transcript to, like do its thing. But if you want it, I would love to give it to you. So please just shoot me an email. And now I'm excited for you to get to know Dr. Tracy. Dr. Tracy, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning. You've been in the boot camp for a few months now, and why did you reach out and say yes to the boot camp?
So I've actually been a chiropractor for over 30 years. Practiced part-time when my kids were little. They're now in high school and college. And so I bought a practice in November of 19, and then the world stopped a few months later. And I've kind of started that practice over from scratch because in the part of town we were in, people just didn't come. It was everybody locked down, and
Yeah,
we may be a red state, but I'm in a blue part of town. and
totally.
and so now it's kind of become evident that the parts of my practice that I was not good at, I am still not good at. And so I joined the boot camp to improve my procedures, my first visits, and more importantly, treatment plans, and just maintaining the new patients that come through the door.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot to take on, and, it's like the Lego picture I showed you during our conversation that oftentimes business can feel like that, right? And then when you're in practice for 30 years, like, the pile of Legos gets gigantic, right? We get ideas from this group and ideas from this Facebook page, and then we get this idea, and we have this big pile of Legos with no instructions. And then we start making it personal and think something is wrong with us, when really we just don't have the support and the instructions about being a great business person. So what's your experience been in the boot camp these last few months?
It's been great. Actually, 2 weeks in, my office manager of 4 years said, you know what? I am not in a good headspace for this, and I am not good for your practice, and I need to step away and not work right now. And so I lost my footing for a few days. But some of the things in the boot camp, in our Dropbox, actually had some information other people had used with hiring. And I kind of did my own thing with them. Instead of, they did like a webinar to say, hey, this is the nitty gritty about our practice. Are you still interested? I actually recorded a short video and sent them out and said in a text and said, okay, if you're still interested, call the office, schedule an appointment. And made sure they, kind of like they have to follow the directions to get an interview. If they don't follow the directions, we're not going to be a good fit, and some things. But it was so awesome to have those documents. I haven't hired anybody. My office manager was afraid. It was just a serendipity. She was a physical therapy assistant. She needed a job. I needed a person. It just worked well. So I really haven't hired somebody in 15 years.
Right.
So having those resources was really, really awesome.
Made it so much simpler.
Yes.
And kudos to you. Like, Dr. Tracy didn't like bring her broken down, busted up practice and be like, okay, Dr. Barb, just fix it. Like, she shows up. She shows up on our Wednesday masterminds. She has been in the 60-day sprint, which is coming to a close. Like, what can you share with everyone about what participation and community and support has meant to you?
I think it's really eye-opening to realize that I'm not the only one that doesn't know how to do this. And I'm not the only one that's been in practice for a long time and still doesn't know how to do this. I am not the unicorn that I thought I was.
Right. Yeah. And that's real, like, for whatever reason, and it's not that misery loves company, we do, however, make up a lot of untruth stories about ourselves to ourselves. And then we get in a group and we're like, oh, wait, you've been in practice for 30 years and you don't know how to do this too? Oh, cool. Oh, you're brand new to practice and this is how my experience can help you. Oh, that's awesome. Right? Like
Yes,
I love that we're from all different walks of life. We all have a different practice because we don't do cookie cutter, and like our love for humanity, our love for chiropractic and service is enough to bring us all together.
absolutely.
Very cool. What would you say to the person who I just spoke at Cal Cairo and I had several docs come up to me after I spoke who've been in practice for several decades, and kind of like what you said, like I I need help. What advice would you give to the person who's been in practice for a long time and they don't want to they hang up their pies of forms? Like they want to be in business, they just don't want to do it the way they've done it. What would you say to them about your boot camp experience and what advice can you offer?
It is never too late to reinvent yourself.
Mm.
I actually, when I hit 50, I said, you know what? This is a new start. And so that kind of caused the snowball. But I intend to practice for the next 20 years or so. So it doesn't matter if you're a month or a year or 10 years into practice, you can always change course.
Yes. Let this be your first new day,
Yes.
right? I posted in the boot camp recently, like, it's always too soon to quit. And getting started now, at least wise, means there's a different future ahead. But if we don't get started, we'll never know.
Yes. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same outcome.
Yes, for sure. So as we wrap this up, what words of encouragement do you want to offer those who, it's the end of the year and maybe this just hasn't been a great year in their business and they're looking to 2024 with great anticipation and fear because they don't have a different way to do things.
Um, it's hard. It's scary. Um, but I actually did really, really stepped outside of my comfort zone when I said yes to the boot camp because I actually said yes that day. And that's something I've never done before. I have never done anything without stopping and think about it and analyze it and talk to my husband and all of the things. And I just said yes.
And so what do you think about your decision?
Oh, best decision I ever made.
It's so funny how we come up with this belief system that I never make a rash decision. And my experience, having done almost 900 one-on-one calls with chiropractors and students since April of 2017, is that mentality is they've already done a bunch of thinking before we even get on a call together. They've already talked to their spouse. They've already looked at all of their options. But the thing that holds them back in the moment from saying yes is this old belief system from the past. And the old belief system said, don't make rash decisions. Well, you're not making a rash decision. You just found what is going to work and change your future and said yes. So there's no benefit except ego to get talking and talk us out of doing something that's really good for us. So congratulations to you that you trusted yourself and trusted the possibility of us working together. And it's been amazing.
Yes, it's awesome.
Very cool. Hey, so Tracy, thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who watch this now or catch this later, it's never too late, but it's always the right time to take action to create a different future. So if you've liked what you've heard, then please use the link that's in the comment section to jump on Zoom with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if our partnership is going to help you land at your goals with greater ease and with greater speed and reproducibility than you ever thought was possible. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Tracy, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks.
Enjoy your quiet Thanksgiving with your family. And thanks for being a part of our tribe.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye, everyone. Have a great
Bye.
afternoon.